Welcome back to the Tydirium Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the MP-52 Thundercracker, and this is the KO version. And I kind of wanted to see how this stacks up to the original, and I wanted to see if the KO is really that different for being $150 less. Is it better in some places or worse in others? So we're going to talk about all of this. I did get this at Show Z. You could get yours there too, except sadly I checked today, it's sold out. Maybe more will come back in stock. I'll have a link down below in case they do. Let's talk about this guy coming up. So here's the packaging, and the box looks a lot like the Starstream one. So it looks a lot like the Takara packaging, and in fact, I really don't know what the difference would be between these, but it looks good. I think I'm going to go with this one, because the Eagle one I think is going to be like a brown box special. So this one here is the other one, the first one, the one that's a little bit more expensive, but worth it. He also comes packaged like this, which is great, and you got the stand, just like with Starscream, and one additional thing, well, you got the book and all that, but we've got the head that lights up and a bunch of different faces, so that's pretty cool. It's all packed in here like this, and so this is the part that is different than, say, the official, because you got more, I think you get more faces than you got with the official, but also the light up head, a whole extra head that lights up. Okay, so here it is out of the box, out of the packaging, and it does look pretty nice. I like the color of it, I like the paint scheme, I like everything about it, but when I started handling it, there's a couple of things right out of the box that I noticed. First of all, I noticed that it seems to not be properly aligned with the transformation. Now, maybe if I transform it back and forth a couple times, everything will line up just right, but I pushed everything back in, and it just kind of popped right back out. So, like, we got a little bit of a gap here, and so a little bit of misalignment on a few things, and I just really can't get it to snap just right in, but not a big deal to me, because I'm really not going to display them in the alt mode so much, but some people will, so that's something to keep in mind. And also, it felt lighter and cheaper than the original, but of course this is KO. But the thing about this is that I just noticed that there's no diecast. I think Starscream had diecast here. When we do the bot comparison, there is diecast still in the chest. I think maybe this waist piece is still some diecast, but none in the feet at all. So that was kind of strange to me. So it is a little bit lighter. I mean, not ridiculously light, but it just, you felt it. It's enough that you can feel it. So getting into a few things with the alt mode, you can still do the open up the nose cone, and just like that. So you can still do that. It's painted on the inside, so it looks nice. It looks really good. And you can also open this up, and you can have a little seat in there, and you can put your little Diaclone pilot or whatever. So the seat was folded down when I got it too. So I don't know what level of transformation they set it to when they package it, but you know, it's, as long as it's there, I guess it's good. So I did put on the blast effects on the rear, and so it does come with those. So that looks kind of nice. And here's how it kind of looks from the bottom there. And I do have these clipped into just the wings, so that's how I did that. And it looks like the wing is kind of separating a bit. So I do expect maybe a little bit more tolerance issues on this than we would with the standard official Takara, but I don't feel like this is like an upgrade from Takara. It's a step down, but it's way less than half the price. So one more thing on this is, okay, we're going to show the transformation of this like we did with the official, and flip that around, close this off, and then we can plug it back in. Now it depends on if you want the shorter missile looking things or if you want the larger cannon looking ion cannons. Let's plug that bad boy in there. Alright, so now with that we do have blast effects. So we have blast effect number one, the long one here. We can plug it in, and let's see if get that one on there. Well, these aren't taking it, so these aren't taking them. I guess we have to only have the blast effects on the standard one, like this. Yeah, I think the other configuration is missiles, so obviously we have that. Now let's get the flight stand in here. We're going to try and accelerate this whole process so we can get into the bot mode, but does come with this piece, and we plug this piece in. Now I only plug one side in because I had a hard time getting it out of the official. Imagine we're gonna have the same issues here, so just plug one side of it in for me, because I'm not gonna be using this very much, but that's how it goes. Let's go ahead and adjust the camera. Okay, so the official had issues where you could tell you were rubbing the paint when you put these on. So that's kind of an issue right there. So anyway, there it is. And if you want to, it holds. This holds really well. I think this might actually be a better stand, so the improvement might be the stand, because I think the other stand had issues, and this one does not. That holds really well, or it might just be it's that much lighter, so the stand holds it better, I guess. Let's do a quick comparison with something that I'm pretty sure everybody has laying around. That's the Fans Toys Blur or Jabber, and this is Lock from X-Transbots. I'm sure everyone's got those just laying around. No, just kidding. Actually, I don't think a lot of people want to put that in alt mode, either one of these in alt mode, tell you the truth. So that's why they're staying there. So it's been a while since I've transformed them, and I'm going to go ahead and take these null rays off. Now, yes, you could transform it and keep the null rays on, and there's a way to do that with this whole mechanism here. I'm not about that, so I want to make things as easy as possible that I can for myself and for anybody else if they're trying to follow this. But so we got to disconnect a whole grouping of items that are connected to this. So right here, we're going to separate these. And this is what it was kind of not very tabbed in when I was taking it out of the box. So, that didn't sound the greatest in the world, but there we go. So, of course we have these tabs in here, which tab into here, which weren't really tabbed in very well, which isn't a big deal. Separate these legs, and then we can start going to town on them. They are tabbed right here with this nice giant tab. And with that, let's go ahead and start working on this leg. So you want to untab that, and you can kind of open it up. Then we're going to start messing with these feet, and maybe we could have closed them up first. So, and then we're going to bring the feet down and pull out. Now, there we go. Pull this piece here out, and then we're going to see all this mechanism inside when you pull on it. And let me make sure I got it aligned right. Give it a little bit of help right there to start this fun activity. And then we're going to have to fold up all of this good stuff here. So let's see. You do have to kind of pull it out, but it feels it's on a slider to slide it around. And then we're going to flip this around so that we can get all that on camera. Flipping all of this around so that we can get it into position there. Let's see, does it go this way? To go into the leg. So it's all coming back to me now. And then we tab it back in right here. Fun stuff, we got a leg done. And we can do this other leg a little bit different since we already did one leg. Open that, close this, close that, pull the foot down, pull the heel out. I'm going to untab this piece right there. There we go. Pull this part of the foot out. This comes out. Clear this. Fold this piece around. We are going to give this little piece here a little bit of help. Pushing it down so we can slide it all out. And then it's all going to move into the leg cavity. We're going to tab this in like so. And then we've got the legs pretty much done. And if you want to at this point, you could do the Gerwalk. Yeah, I'm not really going to mess with the whole Gerwalk situation, the Gerwalk deal. But anyway, you can push the knees up at this point anyway and get that going on. Okay, so we got to turn around and get to working on this back piece and the wings. And the wings are kind of interesting how they work, but they will get them out of the way for the most part so we can do the whole middle section and work our way up. So, all right, let's fold these up out of the way. All right, so let's get these arms moved out of here, and we're going to fold them out, and then let's get this out of the way. We're going to fold them forward, just kind of get them out of the way for now. It's not going all the way. It's going enough though. Okay, so same thing over here, out, and then fold it forward, kind of from that angle, and kind of tight. All right, so we got to do some stuff with these. Well, let's get these wings fixed up just a bit. fold that out of the way, and then we can fold this and just get that out of the way so that we have a little bit more room to work with the torso, and then we're gonna get it all finished up from there. So okay, so the torso, we have to get this head out, and it popped right off, so that's actually a good sign in a way that the head popped off, because I can swap heads with no problem, I guess. We got to pull out the side fillers, just like Starstream. I'm already seeing some paint chipping, which is, if it's painted this well, you're going to have those issues. And then this is a really tight joint right here, and it's got to be perfectly straight to get all that to line up. When you pull this side filler out, so I'm not sure, it's hanging on something. And it shouldn't be hanging on it, but it's hanging on something. Not good. Let's see if the other side hangs. This one did not, so. Perfectly straight. So there's a bit of a tolerance issue, as you can see right there, that's sticking out, and it shouldn't be. Let's make sure I've got this aligned just right, and yeah, that's aligned right. There we go. Okay, so that's, you know, a minor issue, really, in the grand scheme of things, but. So now we're going to flip this around, and we're going to expose the old fake faux torso situation here. Go ahead and tuck in the landing gear. All right, so opening this up, now we got to turn this, but there we go, and then tuck this into here. Then we're going to slide this out, open that up, and I don't know if I can get the wings up a little higher and a little more out of the way. That is one of the problems with this, is the wings do like to be in the way. Okay, so fold those in. Oh, I didn't put the chair away. Tuck the chair down. Tuck that chair down first. Now we can get it all in there. And then this is where you're going to pop the head up, and then the head's hiding in the wrong spot there. Come on, head. Giving me some problems here. So we're going to kind of push the head up, and the spring piece is giving it some trouble, so. Come on. So my head did fall off, and so this is where it all has to fit just right, and it is almost there, and almost fitting just right, and it's getting there, so not really that big of a deal. Flip this around, and this can go to the back. We gotta fix the tail end piece here. It folds down, and then this clips into here. There's a tab and a notch. And am I getting this thing done right? Okay, so now we have to work on the wings. Guess we can kind of get the arms a little bit more situated for a second. Okay, so the wings on this thing are just like Starstream. Fold it in and then out, and then we're going to open this up. Fold this down, flip this around, and then fold all this down into here on a double joint, like so. This is on a double joint, and then it tabs in. There's the tab. Tabs right here, slots right there. Come on, go in there. I remember on Starscream, this was lining this and getting it in right was a little fiddly also. So the next one, do the same thing. Make sure we've got this, and we already did kind of fold this inner piece here inside because I wanted to get that out of the way early. So I do like how they hide this in here, but I do think at the end of the day with the clip-on piece, it's With the, what was it, deformation space, that one is a little cleaner. So I do like that. Anyhow, pull this down into here. That's on a slider, so you can adjust it to make it fit. And then we're going to tuck this in and fold it down into place on both sides. Let's see. Let's get one tab in at a time here. So there's this ginormous tab here that goes into this main part. So you got to wiggle that into place. And then we have to tab into here. So you got a double tabbing deal going on right there. Let's see if I can get a little more pressure. I would take this apart a little bit if you want to put a little pressure on there like that, and then redo that. I wouldn't push the pressure on the back of the wing. Just some other things that I remember from the Starstream. And this one's not tabbing in as well right there, but still, it's not a big deal. Okay, I'm getting this other side. Fold this piece here in. As we bring this down, it's all going to tab in. Let's, I don't want to put the pressure on that. Let's put the pressure right on this piece of plastic right here. And then tab that in. So this is over just a little bit. This tab needs to go into there, to that slot, and there's not actually enough space, and I'm sure it's because I probably should have done something a little bit different the way I went about it. Let's work it in. There it is. Good. Now we can reassemble the back wing there, and then, yeah, get the hip area all adjusted just right. And then the arms fixed. They go back into their slot. It's just a butterfly. And then of course there's this whole thing with these pylons, however you want to do that. But I think I wanted to mess with, somehow this isn't aligned right. I'm gonna mess with that for a second. Okay, literally just have to push down on it. It's nothing. Okay, nothing at all. No big deal. Okay, so we're pretty much there. Pop the head back on, and during this transformation, I heard something fall, and it's evidently his face fell off. So go ahead and take the hands out like always, and all that kind of stuff. Put the blaster pieces on him and all that. We got to rebuild his elbow. Simple stuff, but overall, it doesn't feel like it's nothing really feels like it's gonna break. So that's to me a nice little test of a KO. Does it feel like it's gonna break? And no, it doesn't. So rebuilding the elbow, putting his null ray on, folding out the null ray connector point. If you didn't already have it for, you know, if you wanted to use that in your alternate mode or whatever. So anyway, I'm going to just put those other parts on, get it cleaned up. So here he is in his bot mode. And I got to say, for a $100 figure, a Seeker, Takara Seeker, it's okay. It's fine. It's going to get the job done for me, and especially if you have a bunch of these on the shelf. There's a few things you're going to have to look out for, like I showed during the transformation. And if you skip past the transformation, which I don't blame anyone for that, don't blame you for that at all. But if you do, a few things. First off, this tab's not tabbing in all the way. Real simple. This tab goes into that slot, and it just doesn't stay in there. Really simple solution. If you mess with transformers, just put the polish on there, let it dry, polish in the slot, polish on the tab, let it dry. And there's a couple of places that have issues like that. I did have a little bit of trouble with this thing, not quite, it popped off on me, but I put too much force, and that happened off camera. And there's a couple of paint blemishes, and I don't know if it's from my transformation and my being rough with it, but I did notice a couple here and there. They're not the end of the world or anything. So there's the negatives and downsides. And if the feet aren't die cast and the feet are a little looser than my Starstream, my official Starstream, the knees actually feel really, really cheap. I don't know why they feel so cheap when we do the next to Starstream. But I mean, aside from that, it looks great. It looks great. It stands there. Stability, I think, because of the feet is a bit of an issue. They're not die-cast or plastic, and they feel weaker. They don't hold it as well. Another thing is people say to put the pylons, or whatever these things are, I call them pylons, in the back. I like them up like this. I like them like that. I think you're supposed to push them to the back, and it shows it on the box and all this other stuff, but I don't like them like that. I actually like them up here. No, my head did fall off. My face fell out. So there's a couple of issues. I do think they say push it to the back for the articulation, so we'll leave it back there for the articulation, but you get your pose or whatever, and then I push them forward. So let's get into articulation with this guy real fast. Looking at the articulation of this guy, we're going to start with the head and the head sculpt, and it does look pretty good. And let's get it to focus. This is the light up head, and they're easy to swap. This is the standard head, and he's got a ton of different faces because he has some KO faces and all that kind of stuff. So head does go up on that like a double jointed neck, and it moves around, and as you can see, it looks like it's got some paint blemishes or something in there, or maybe that's just something from the factory, I don't know. But anyway, so that works. And then you have with the butterfly, which you could get a nice butterfly all the way out as far as I think you would need to go. I think that's about as far as it's going to go out on the butterfly. And then you can get the whole 360. Yep, even with the wing there. And if you want, you can push the wing back, pivot it back to get a little bit more, or you can just have it flat out, however you would like. And then you do have the extreme shoulder. So, I mean, you can go quite a ways. You have the bicep swivel. You do have the double jointed elbow that gets it with a little bit of work. Is it double jointed? It feels double jointed because it goes so far, but anyhow. Yeah, and then you've got this articulation in the bicep, so you can get that look of a double jointed. And then the fingers are really nice, just the way they did it. The hand looks great. You've got 2 points to articulation there, and 2 points here. All you would need, all independent. They all look good. They got the rounded edges. It looks nice. He has chest missile articulation. These are painted purple inside there, so that looks really nice. Also, this I do feel like this, I don't know. This was die-cast on Starstream. I don't think it's die-cast. There's a part in here somewhere that's die-cast because it felt cold earlier. But and then moving down with the flaps here. Okay, what does he have for? No, you got ab crunch, and that's it. And this whole little mechanism has to move your ab crunch, so I wouldn't use it too much. Anyway, you got legs going out this far. You hear the ratchets on that bad boy. That's as far back as it goes. Ratcheted. Ooh, nice. Well, I'm not going to push it. That's as far as... Is it? Oh, there it goes. Yeah, holds it. So, that works. You've got the movement right here on... It's not much. It's not much. And then you've got the... I think you can do a little bit more with that knee. Let's get it up. You got that with the knee. And it works. And then the feet. Now the feet aren't great, but you got the front, side to side, kind of all you would really need with this guy. So pretty decent articulation. Let's look at accessories. For accessories, blast effects that work on there, I can't for the life of me get this one to clip to anything. I think it's tolerance issue with that little circle piece on the inside. This clips on just fine, so you can get all that. You got the extra head, and we have a ton of extra faces. So I mean, we've got a screaming face. We've got an O face. He's definitely got an O face. He's got a smug face, a smirk face, all of that. And they should all work. I think every one of the faces works with the light up gimmick. So there it goes. Light up gimmick. Accessories, not too excessive, but not too bad also. He can be on the stand. As you can see, it looks like he's resting there, but you can get him on the stand to do whatever, pretty much. I don't really know if people are going to be using the stand for bot mode a lot, but it works. This stand works really well in the bot mode. You can get that toe down there. He could look like he's flying away and shooting. So all that works well in the bot mode. And it's comparison time. Anyway, I ripped that off someone else. So looking at this, there's 3 different companies. This is the KO of Takara 52 Plus. This one is the Make Toys Meteor, and this is the Deformation Space. So looking at all of these side by side, I want to say looking at the camera right now, the blues look more vibrant than they really are. Somebody asked in this video, or a lot of people did actually, are the colors really that muted? And I would say they're muted, but this is slightly more vibrant than that. Slightly. And so I don't know how to give a number to it, but 2.5% more vibrant than what's going on with this. So if that means anything, there it is. But I still prefer this style, this size, this aesthetic to this one. I think this one has a little bit better transformation. So there's pluses and minuses, good and bad for all of them. Still happy to have them. Here he is with the Robot Paradise Fans Toys Soundwave and the Megatron, the Magton version KO. So KO, different name, but so does that look good together? I still think the deformation looks a little bit better scale wise. And last comparison is to the official Starstream. So I think this is probably the most important, because if you're in on the scale and the set and these figures, then you definitely want to know how this translates over from the official, and what are you getting for your additional amount of money, the additional 150 or something to go official. And you're not getting a whole lot. Now, this thing here is painted head to toe. This is painted head to toe too. This is all flat. It's got like a little bit of shininess in a few areas, but this is shiny all through here. So it presents a little bit better in the torso area. So I don't know if Takara's Thundercracker was this flat. So as you see here, I put the pylons or these pieces forward. I still get quite a bit of articulation out of the Starstream, so that's fine. So that's how I'm going to kind of display all these. And with this, I do think that the QC was better on my copy with Takara than it is on this KO. But there's nothing about this that's so bad that I would not recommend it to anyone, because I'm going to keep it. I'm happy with it. I like it so far. And with that, looking at the back, it's still not clean. It's not that clean. And this backpack cleaned up better because everything tabbed in better. This doesn't tab in at all. So there's a few issues. It's not perfect, but still, it's $150 cheaper and it works out. And sadly, it's sold out already. So feeling on this, Starstream, diecast, no diecast. Diecast, I think it might be diecast there in the part of the torso. And then this feels like diecast, no diecast. Diecast on the... Are the feet diecast? Well, no, the feet are not diecast on this one, and they're not diecast on that one. And I did notice that I was saying I had sort of a stability issue on the feet, and all I did is kind of look at how my Starscream's feet were. They look like this. So they have this tab centered, so you have to position it where this tab is facing down, and the foot is more stable. So I had that wrong, I guess, but overall, not bad. So what do I think of this guy? I think it's a pretty good, pretty solid KO. It's got an upgrade with the eyes. It's got an upgrade with a much better stand than the Starscream came with. And I think finishing out a set, or me, in my case, having a second set, $100 price point is not bad. So the thing is, though, they are sold out at Show Z currently. I'll have a link down there for you. And if you are in on these KO Seekers, then I would say pre-order the Thundercracker. No, the Skywarp, because this is Thundercracker. But the downside, there are some downsides, such as some things not tabbing all the way together. There was a little bit of flashing on a piece of plastic that maybe kind of had to force something past something in the transformation, but still very, very minor. There were a couple of minor paint blemishes that I actually couldn't find when I was wanting to talk about them, so they're so minor I couldn't find them again. But with that, there's less die-cast in this than there were in the official. Either that, or I'm just not feeling it, or it's well extra painted. But still, it does feel a little bit lighter, a little bit cheaper than the original. But for $150 less, I'm perfectly fine with it. I like it. You can get yours at Show Z. I'll have a link down below. Like, subscribe to Deer Hanger out.